When I was 29, my life fell apart in a single phone call. Emily, it's cancer. The next few months became a blur of hospital rooms, chemotherapy, and endless hope mixed with fear. My parents promised they would handle everything while I focused on surviving. I believed them. What I didn't know was that, while I was fighting for my life, my family was quietly planning a future without me. One afternoon, after another exhausting chemo session, I overheard my mother whispering outside my hospital room. "She probably won't make it," she said. "We should transfer the estate now before it becomes complicated." My father replied, "Mark will take care of the family." Mark. My sister Jessica's husband. The man who wasn't even related to my grandparents by blood. I wanted to believe I had misunderstood. But a month later, I secretly checked the county property records online. Everything. My grandmother's house. The farmland. The investment accounts. The vacation cabin. Every single asset had already been transferred. Not to Jessica. Not to both daughters. To Mark. As if I were already dead. When I confronted my parents, my mother looked at me with cold eyes. "You won't need it where you're going." I couldn't believe those words came from the woman who had raised me. I walked away without saying another word. The next year was the hardest of my life. Chemo after chemo. Surgery after surgery. Some nights I honestly thought they were right. But every morning I chose to fight. Because I refused to let my last chapter be written by people who had already buried me. Then, one beautiful spring morning, my doctor smiled. "Emily, you're cancer-free." For the first time in nearly 2 years, I cried tears of happiness. But I wasn't finished. My grandmother had always kept journals. Hundreds of handwritten pages. One journal mentioned a safety deposit box that nobody knew existed. Inside that box was something my family had forgotten. A newer will. Signed only 6 months before Grandma passed away. The document clearly stated that every asset would belong equally to her 2 granddaughters. If either granddaughter became seriously ill, her inheritance was to be protected until she recovered. There was also a handwritten letter. "If anyone tries to steal from Emily during her illness, I trust she will find the truth." The attorney looked at me and quietly said, "This changes everything." Within weeks, the court froze every property transfer. Investigators discovered forged signatures, backdated paperwork, and bank records proving Mark had convinced my grieving parents to sign documents they barely understood. The judge canceled every fraudulent transfer. Mark lost everything. Jessica filed for divorce. My parents stood outside my apartment months later. My father couldn't even look me in the eyes. "We're sorry." I looked at them for a long moment. I needed parents while I was fighting cancer. You became accountants. I forgave them someday for my own peace. But forgiveness didn't mean giving them another chance to hurt me. I restored Grandma's house. Started a foundation that helps cancer patients pay for treatment. And every year, I place fresh flowers on Grandma's grave. Because she believed in me. Even when everyone else had already planned my funeral. Sometimes the greatest revenge isn't destroying the people who betrayed you. It's surviving, living well, and proving they were wrong about you.